Russian President Vladimir Putin may soon have discussions with newly elected US President Donald Trump, during which we are told he will demand that Ukraine never join NATO. This is what Bloomberg is reporting. But Putin's position also contradicts Trump's stated desire to end the war as quickly as possible and may be aimed at granting Russia more flexibility in terms of negotiations. Bloomberg's report, by the way, further noted that Russia's advances in eastern Ukraine have been slow and have come at a very heavy cost. Ray Locker's with us for further clarity on this as well. Ray, how realistic is this demand? And what would be the consequences for Ukraine's sovereignty and security if it were to accept such terms?
Well, I mean, first of all, Trump's promises to end the war immediately were never true. No one really took them seriously, and now they're logically backing away from them, so that makes sense. Look, Ukraine has to negotiate its own future. Trump can't do it for them. I don't think anybody would stand for that in Ukraine or in Europe. Right. And so, I mean, Putin pushed Ukraine in the arms of NATO, pushed Ukraine in the arms of the EU, and he can't really negotiate his way out of that. So, I mean, this may be his opening gambit, but this is not where it's going to end.
But Ray, how might an incoming President Donald Trump approach these demands, especially considering his prior skepticism about NATO and his stance on Ukraine? Could his leadership actually change the balance of power in the negotiations?
Well, it could, because he could drop support of Ukraine. And if Ukraine doesn't have the U.S. support, then they have to rely on Western Europe. And that's not as strong as a joint U.S.-European alliance in support of Ukraine. So that could alter the balance of power very unfavorably for Ukraine.
And with Russia's growing confidence on the battlefield, how much would you say if Putin's stance is shaped by military gains versus geopolitical objectives? And what do these demands signal about Russia's long-term strategy, especially as far as Europe is concerned?
Well, Russia, I think, is always going to be a threat to Europe as long as Putin's around. I don't think that Russia is necessarily gaining in the war against Ukraine. They're doing okay. But at what cost? I mean, they've lost so many people in a war that they didn't need to have. And it's really cost Russia a lot, and it's devastated Ukraine. So, I mean, in the end, what good did it do Russia?
Right. Well, we will, of course, track the latest updates with you, Ray. Thanks so much, as always, for joining us with your views.
Thanks, Parmeshwar.